Good morning, everyone. Today's class is about bony pelvis. The term pelvis is applied to this entire arrangement of the bones and joints. It roughly means a basin, a bowl, and this is a skeletal ring formed by the two hip bones and the sacrum. And this cavity inside is called as the pelvic region. The pelvis can be regarded as having greater and lesser segments, the true and the false pelvis as we call them. So ये जो आपको line दिखाई दे रही है, this is called as the linea terminalis. So starting from sacrum, this is the promontory of the sacrum. This edge is a part of linea terminalis. After that, this upper margin of the ala, then the arcuate line, then the pecten pubis, and then the pubic crest and posterior upper part of the pubic symphysis. This is one half of the linea terminalis, and obviously continuing to the other side, it completes the whole circle. So जैसे कि आप देख सकते हैं, this entire edge between the true and the false pelvis is very appreciable when you hold the pelvis and see the pelvis in specimens. So this upper part, which is partially open, it is going to house the lower parts of the GI segment, and this lower true pelvic cavity, it is going to house the genitourinary organs. So each linea terminalis includes the iliac arcuate line, pectineal line, and the pubic crest. The segments are continuous, you know about that, and the parts of the body cavity, and they enclose the parts of the body cavity that they enclose are also continuous through the pelvic inlet. जैसे कि आप जानते हैं कि thoraco-abdominal diaphragm होता है, उसी तरह से at the end of the pelvis there is another muscular diaphragm, and that is the part where the true pelvis ends. So ट्रू एंड फॉल्स पेल्विस के बीच में कोई सेपरेशन नहीं है, लेकिन ट्रू पेल्विस के एंड पर एक पेल्विक डायफ्राम जैसी चीज होती है. So now you can see it is the anterior view of the false pelvis, this entire pink three-dimensional zone which is posteriorly formed by these ala of the ilium and anteriorly covered by the abdominal wall, and this is the ट्रू पेल्विस जो कि इस लीनिया टर्मिनालिस के लोअर पोर्शन से रिलेटेड है. सो ग्रेटर पेल्विस कंसिस्ट ऑफ इलियम प्यूबिस ओवर द लीनिया टर्मिनालिस एंड द sacral base, and the junctional zone is structurally massive and forms powerful arches from the acetabular fossae, जहाँ पर acetabular fossae है, to the vertebral column. You know about the weight transmission, you've done this in the lower limb, around the visceral cavity. So abdomen above and pelvis below, this is where the false pelvis lies. It has a little anterior wall, obviously, because it is because of the pelvic inclination, and this anteriorly this whole area is covered by abdominal musculature. So अब आप जितना भी पेल्विस के बारे में पढ़ेंगे उसकी इनलेट, आउटलेट और मिड कैविटी, इन तीन पार्ट्स में हम उसे डिवाइड करते हैं. सो इनलेट ऑब्वियसली अब हम ट्रू पेल्विस की सारी डायमेंशंस पढ़ रहे हैं. सो ट्रू पेल्विस कहाँ से शुरू होता है, जैसे कि आपने देखा लीनिया टर्मिनालिस के बाद. सो दिस लीनिया टर्मिनालिस एरिया represents the pelvic inlet. As you can see, it is around a roundish or ovalish shape. It is obviously tilted, so you can appreciate the pelvic inlet. It is indented posteriorly by sacral promontory. What does this line mean? This line means that this sacral promontory sort of abuts into this circle. You can appreciate that. And now you will see that सारी pelvic cavity को define करने के लिए हम तीन diameters की बात करेंगे. ठीक है, सबसे पहले एंटीरो पोस्टीरियर डायमीटर, ऑब्वियसली मैक्सिमम मिड लाइन में ये डायमीटर्स होंगे, आपको इन्हें अप्रिशिएट करना हमेशा इजी होगा. नेक्स्ट विल बी मैक्सिमम ट्रांसवर्स डायमीटर्स, और कोई ना कोई उस कैविटी का एक ऑब्लिक डायमीटर भी होगा. एंड एज मेडिकल स्टूडेंट्स यू आर सपोज्ड टू remember the dimensions of these diameters, at least in whole numbers. So let's see that what bony prominences contribute to the formation of these diameters. So सबसे पहले pelvic inlet का true conjugate which is called as antero-posterior diameter. ये conjugate ना obstetrics की term है. It refers to the parts to which the fetal head relates. So जहाँ जहाँ वो fetal head रिलेट करता है पेल्विस से, उस डायमीटर को कॉन्जुगेट नाम दिया जाता है. तो ऑब्वियसली AP diameter is a very important diameter for the fetal head to be presented here. So This AP diameter is measured between the midpoint of the sacral promontory, that is what the common sense says, and upper border of the symphysis pubis. And on an average, this is around 10 centimeters in the adult male and 11.2 centimeters in the adult females. So, जैसा कि आप देख रहे हैं, pelvic inlet is wider in females compared to the males. पेल्विस में आप ये सोच के मत चलिएगा कि जो भी डायमेंशन है वो मेल में बड़ी होगी फीमेल में छोटी होगी. इट इज रिलेटेड टू देयर फिजियोलॉजिकल फंक्शंस एज वेल. सो फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ चाइल्ड बियरिंग, वुमेन वुड रिक्वायर अ वाइडर पेल्विस एंड अ वाइडर पेल्विक इनलेट. इसीलिए इट इज अराउंड 11 centimeters in adult females, whereas it is around 10 centimeters in adult males. Next we come to the transverse diameter. So it is the maximum distance that can be there between the two opposite points on the pelvic brim. इसको pelvic brim भी कहते हैं, जैसे हम linear terminalis कह रहे थे. So जहाँ भी maximum possible diameter होगा, that is called as the transverse diameter, and it is around 12 centimeters in males, and in females it is around 13 centimeters. Now the important definition is for oblique diameter. Oblique diameter at the level of pelvic inlet is measured from the iliopubic ramus, यहाँ पर iliopubic ramus है, to the opposite sacroiliac joint. So सबसे पहले आप एक sacroiliac joint को locate करेंगे, उसके corresponding जो exact point iliopubic ramus में है opposite, that one is the other point completing your oblique diameter, and it is around 12 centimeter in both males and females, it being slightly larger in females. So जैसे कि आपने देखा, सबसे small diameter is this antero-posterior diameter. It is around 10 centimeters. Transverse diameter will range around 12 to 13 centimeters, and oblique diameter is around 12 centimeter at the level of pelvic inlet. आगे बढ़ते हुए, yes, some discussion about the conjugates of pelvic inlet. So because the infant must pass through the inlet to enter into the true pelvis to be born vaginally, the antero-posterior diameter and the oblique dimensions of the inlet are important measurements. क्यों? क्योंकि आपको पता है यहाँ पर अगर pubic symphysis बन रहा है, so since this bone is thickest in its mid portion, ऊपर से भी नैरो है, नीचे से भी नैरो है, थिकेस्ट कहाँ है? मिड पोर्शन में. सो इसलिए सबसे कम डायामीटर कहाँ होगा? इस पॉइंट पे. ठीक है, तो आपने पेल्विक इनलेट देख ली, वहां पर आपको दिख रहा है ये एपी डायमीटर है, आपने कहा वेरी गुड, ये तो ट्रू कॉन्जुगेट है. लेकिन आपको पता चला कि इस लेवल से तो बेबी का हेड क्रॉस कर गया, एक्चुअली उसको मैक्सिमम ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन कहाँ हुई? मिड लेवल ऑफ प्यूबिस पे जाके. So this is the part which is very important for obstetricians to know, because this is the obstetrical conjugate, the minimum diameter presenting to the incoming fetal head. और उसके नीचे the other longer line is the diagonal conjugate. As you can see, it can even be longer than the true conjugate, and it is definitely longer than the obstetrical conjugate. उसके बाद second point is lower part of the pubic symphysis and around mid pelvis. This is the antero-posterior diameter of the mid pelvis. So these are the important diameters as far as the obstetric consideration is concerned, and these conjugates become very, very important while assessing the adequacy of female pelvis for childbearing. So the true conjugate, how is this one measured? It is measured only on the radiographic films. आपने CT scan किया है या आपने X-ray लिया है, obviously pre-conceptional time में, तभी आप उसके true measurement से true conjugate measure कर सकते हैं. ठीक है, there is no way to measure the true conjugate other than direct examination by radiology. But there is some way to measure the other conjugates as well. The index and the second finger are carried up and over the anterior surface of the sacrum. This is the per vaginal examination. So starting from here, if you have inserted the index and the second finger into the vagina and take it up to the sacrum, this is the part where you will feel the bony resistance. Okay. So by deeply inserting the wrist, and the promontory can be felt, this part can be felt on the per vaginal examination by the tip of the second finger as the projecting bony margin. So now you know the dimensions of your own hand while you're doing this measurement, and with the finger closely applied to the most prominent portion of the upper sacrum, the vaginal hand is elevated until it contracts the pubic arch. So what it did, the doctor inserted its hand, felt the sacral promontory, and then raised their hand to come and touch the pubic symphysis, obviously. So this measurement corresponding to your own hand will help you measure the conjugate. As you can see here, अगर आपने यहाँ से hand insert किया है, तो if this is the lower part of the pubic symphysis where I've told you to touch the hand, and this is the upper part at the level of at the level of sacral promontory. So diagonal conjugate is what you can measure through per vaginal examination. So the distance between the mark and the tip of the second finger, this is the tip of the second finger, and this is the point where your hand was able to touch the pubic symphysis. This is going to correspond to the diagonal conjugate. और आपको जैसे पता है कि obstetric conjugate उससे छोटा होगा. कितना छोटा? Around 1 to 2 centimeters छोटा. So you can measure the diagonal conjugate by per vaginal examination. ठीक है, इस तरह से फिंगर्स को इंसर्ट करके, सेक्रल प्रोमोनटरी को फील करके और प्यूबिक सिम्फिसिस तक अपने हैंड का डिस्टेंस मेजर करके, and after that by subtracting 1.5 to 2 centimeters you will come at the obstetrical conjugate in the female patient. Let's just see them again. So the true conjugate, which is this AP diameter of the incoming pelvic inlet, is around 11 centimeter. Obstetric conjugate is even smaller, around 10.5 centimeter, and the diagonal conjugate on an average is around 12 centimeters in females. So जैसे कि आप देख सकते हैं, these are the 3 conjugates. Out of them, the true conjugate is the AP diameter of the pelvic inlet. Moving forward, let's come to this zone, the lesser pelvis. तो अब ये आप pelvic inlet देख रहे हैं, ठीक है? ये सेक्रम है, लिनिया टर्मिनालिस में, ये सेक्रल प्रोमोनटरी का पार्ट है, ये बेस ऑफ द एला है, ये आपको दोनों तरफ से आर्कुएट लाइन दिख रही है, पेक्टन प्यूबिस दिख रहा है, तो ये लिनिया टर्मिनालिस है. लोअर टू दिस इज द लेसर पेल्विस. So this is the true basin where the soft tissue of the pelvic floor are in place. This is the pelvic diaphragm. This is going to form the pelvic floor and finally close the lesser pelvis. Skeletally, it is narrower continuation of the greater pelvis, yes, but is irregular, but it has more complete walls. Posteriorly, आपको ये sacrum का anterior part सारा का सारा दिख रहा है. On the sides, there is ischium. Anteriorly, there is istiopubic ramus, and on the lower side, there is pelvic diaphragm. So, और उसके अलावा sacrotuberous ligaments और ischiosacral ligaments, ये सारे ligaments मिलके ये wall को complete करते हैं. This is of extreme obstetric importance because this part is even narrower for the fetus to be able to, let's just say, negotiate through it, and it has a curved median axis. जिस तरह से आप sacrum का ये curve appreciate कर पा रहे हैं, you can imagine how this basin sort of curves towards its lower end. So its superior opening is occupied by viscera, as you would imagine, and pelvic floor, viscera, and the subjacent perineal sphincters, they are going to close the inferior opening. So आप देख सकते हैं कि inferior opening जैसे कि skeletal remains में तो आपको बिल्कुल नीचे से open दिखेगी, but actually ऐसा नहीं होता. Genitourinary openings are what are going to constitute the floor of the pelvis. So anteroinferiorly, it is bound by the pubic bones, pubic rami and the pubic symphysis, जैसे कि आप जानते हैं, and posteriorly it is bound by the concave anterior sacral surface and the coccyx. इसके बारे में भी आप जानते हैं. Laterally, on each side, the margins are smooth, quadrangular pelvic aspect of the fused ileum and the ischium. ठीक है? So ये इसकी सारी enclosing bones के बारे में आपको information दे रहा है. And the region so enclosed is called as the pelvic cavity proper. ठीक है? So if this is the plane of the pelvic inlet, इससे ऊपर false pelvis है, greater pelvis जिसे कहा जाता है. नीचे up to the level of pelvic diaphragm. ठीक है? ये pelvic diaphragm अगर represent करती है thick line, this being the pelvic diaphragm, this region becomes the lesser pelvis, and the region outer to it is the perineum. Perineum में है external genitalia. So genitourinary organ like your uterus, urinary bladder, they are in the lesser pelvis. Root of genitalia like in penis and vagina, they are in the perineum, and greater pelvis has lower part of abdominal organs. So in the pelvic cavity proper, you have rectum, bladder, and parts of the reproductive organs. सो जैसे कि हम पेल्विक कैविटी के डायमीटर्स के बारे में तो देख ही रहे थे और हमने इनलेट के लेवल पे 3 डायमीटर्स देखे, उसी तरह से सेम हम तीन डायमीटर्स मिड पेल्विक कैविटी में भी डिफाइन करेंगे और पेल्विक आउटलेट के लेवल पर भी डिफाइन करेंगे। सो अब हम मिड कैविटी में देखते हैं कि 3 डायमीटर्स कौन कौन से होंगे। सो द एंटीरो-पोस्टीरियर डायमीटर इज मेजर्ड बिटवीन द मिड पॉइंट ऑफ थर्ड सेक्रल सेगमेंट। इफ यू काउंट द सेक्रल सेगमेंट्स 1 2 3, तो इस लेवल पे आके थर्ड सेगमेंट से स्टार्ट करके पोस्टीरियर सरफेस ऑफ सिम्फिसिस प्यूबिस तक, this becomes the anterior-posterior diameter of mid-pelvic cavity. And it is around 10 centimeters in males and 13 centimeters in adult females. So it is more spacious in the adult female pelvis. This will be around 13 centimeters. So third sacral segment याद रखना है और pubic symphysis पे posterior part of pubis पे almost midline पे ये anterior-posterior diameter आता है. What is the transverse diameter of mid-pelvic cavity? Now this is the widest transverse distance between the side walls of the cavity, and it is often defined as the greatest transverse dimension in the whole cavity, and it measures around 12 centimeters in adult male and 12 centimeters in adult female. This cavity is sort of difficult to imagine जब आप bony skeleton हाथ में पकड़ रहे हैं, but it is very appreciable when you are thorough with your concept. So let's just see what happens. This diagram is slightly better, so you can see that while you are imagining it in your hands, you can see that there is if this is the mid pelvic cavity, then its sideways greatest dimension will become its maximum sideways transverse diameter. जैसे कि आप यहाँ देख पा रहे हैं, this is from the lower side. यदि हम नीचे की ओर से, ये आपको कॉक्सिक्स दिखाई दे रही है, नीचे की ओर से ये ischial tuberosity दिख रही है, यहाँ से अगर आप pelvic cavity को व्यू करें, so the transverse diameter becomes the widest distance between the side walls of the cavity. There are no bony points, very specific bony points I would say, but yes, the side walls के बीच में जो maximum distance है, that is considered as the widest diameter of the mid pelvic cavity, and this also is around 12 to 13 centimeters. Now we move on to the oblique diameter. So इसके well defined points हैं. It is the distance from the lower point of one sacroiliac joint. Sacroiliac joint से सबसे पहले आपने inlet का भी diameter, oblique diameter define किया था. अब mid cavity के level पर भी you will go to the lowest point of the sacroiliac joint rather than the upper point, and you will take it to the mid point of contralateral obturator membrane. आपको याद है ये obturator, see, this you knew was the obturator fossa, and you know it is covered by the obturator membrane. So ये इस foramen की बात कर रहे हैं. Since this is covered by obturator membrane, तो वहाँ definition में obturator membrane लिखा है. Otherwise, if you are holding bony pelvis in your hand, this will be the center of the obturator foramen. So from the lower part of the sacroiliac joint, extending up to the midpoint of obturator foramen or the obturator membrane, this will be the transverse diameter of mid pelvic cavity, and it also measures around 11 centimeters in males and 13 centimeters in adult female. So on an average, most mid pelvic cavity is almost circular, with all the diameters being in the range of 11 to 12 centimeters in males and 12 to 13 centimeters in the females. Now we come to a very important concept, pelvic outlet. Pelvic outlet के साथ सबसे बड़ी confusion ये है that two very important contributors to pelvic outlets are sacrospinous and sacrotuberous ligaments, जो कि आपको जब आप बोनी पेल्विस स्टडी कर रहे होते हो तो उसके सारे स्पेसिमेंस में देखने को नहीं मिलता. जैसे कि आपने फेशिया लाटा की अटैचमेंट में लोअर लिम्ब में पढ़ा था, that fascia lata begins at the level of outer margin of the ala of the ilium and the backside, and then coming and attaching to the sacrospinous and sacrotuberous ligaments. उसी तरह से inferior pelvic aperture या pelvic outlet में भी इन दो ligaments का बहुत important role है. So even if you do not see them in the skeletal specimens that you have, the bones that you see, but you have to know that that in living organisms, this place is not just as empty. In bone, you will be able to see the greater and the lesser sciatic notch, but in the real human beings, while they are alive, there are no greater or lesser sciatic notches. They are complete greater and lesser sciatic foramens. Why? Because इस part को ये ligaments complete करते हैं. So, keeping that knowledge in mind, let's just see what happens. Its perimeter consists of 3 wide arcs. अब आप देख सकते हैं किस तरह से ये पार्ट सामने की तरफ से एक इन्वर्टेड वी बना रहा है, प्यूबिक सिम्फिसिस, दोनों तरफ पे इस्चियोप्यूबिक रेमाई, और फिर आप पहुंच गए इस्चियल ट्यूबरोसिटी तक, और पोस्टीरियरली दोनों तरफ से sacrotuberous ligament. So this is like two triangles which are at an angle to each other. So anteriorly there is this pubis arch जो कि दोनों तरफ से इस्चियोप्यूबिक रेमाई मिलकर के बना रहे हैं, and posteriorly there are the sciatic notches between the sacrum and the ischial tuberosities. So these are divided by the sacrotuberous and sacrospinous ligaments into greater and lesser sciatic foramina, जैसे कि आपने देखा. So the outlet is not rigid. This part is very important because this is very important for the childbirth as well, that this is not a completely bony structure, the pelvic outlet, and hence it is not even completely rigid in its posterior half because it is limited by ligaments and coccyx जो कि sacrococcygeal joint बनाएगी, and all of them are slightly yielding यानी कि slightly mobile. So here you can see them. These are the two planes. This is the anatomical position. जैसे कि आपको हिप बोन की anatomical position में भी बताया जाता है कि anterior superior iliac spine को locate करो, pubic tubercle को locate करो, and keep them in the same horizontal coronal plane, and then you will be orienting the hip bone in anatomical position. तो pelvis की भी anatomical orientation obviously वही है क्योंकि hip bone ही तो majorly ये बना रही है. So when you do that, you come to see that these are the two triangular areas which are going to form the outlet of the pelvis. So ischiopubic part has a downwardly inclined plane जैसे कि आपको ये दिख रहा है, and the sacrotuberous ligament से बनने वाला posterior part is almost facing posteriorly and is sloping down and forwards on the same line. अब इस कैविटी के डायमीटर्स कैसे मेजर करेंगे? ठीक है, यहाँ आप देख सकते हैं, दिस इज द प्यूबिक सिम्फिसिस, और यहाँ पर है इस्चियल ट्यूबरोसिटी, यहाँ पर बैक ऑफ द सैक्रम एंड कॉक्सिस आपको दिख रही है. नाउ एंटीरियर पोस्टीरियर डायमीटर ऑफ द आउटलेट इज ऑब्वियसली मेजर्ड फ्रॉम द कॉक्सिजियल एपेक्स. यहाँ पर कॉक्सिक्स से आप मेजर करेंगे अप टू द मिड पॉइंट ऑफ द लोअर रिम ऑफ सिम्फिसिस प्यूबिस, यानी कि सिम्फिसिस प्यूबिस के इंफीरियर पार्ट पे जाएंगे. So sacrum से शुरू करेंगे और यहाँ तक जाएंगे. So this will be the anterior-posterior diameter, as you can see. The transverse diameter, अब this one is very important. In this case, the transverse diameter is measured between the ischial tuberosities of the two sides. ठीक है, दोनों तरफ पे आपको ischial tuberosities दिख रही हैं, इनके बीच में ये transverse diameter है. Again, common sense. So, and the oblique diameter extends from the midpoint of the sacrotuberous ligament up to the contralateral ischiopubic junction. So, एक तरफ से आप sacrotuberous ligament से लेकर के ischiopubic junction तक बनाएंगे, that will become your oblique diameter. So, the anterior-posterior diameter is the longest diameter as far as pelvic outlet is concerned. ठीक है? Males में it is around 8 centimeters because the sacrum is highly curved. Females में it is around 12 centimeters, and that is a lot of difference. The transverse diameter between the two ischial tuberosities is around 8 centimeters in males and 11 centimeters in females. And the oblique diameter, which is between the sacrotuberous ligament and the ischiopubic junction on the other side, is around 10 centimeters in males and 11 to 12 centimeters in the females. So now we come to the plane of the greatest pelvic dimensions, yani ki the most capacious pelvic level, and it is between the pelvic brim and the mid cavity plane. So this becomes the widest open plane. Anteriorly, it refers to the middle part of the symphysis pubis, and posteriorly it is at the level of second and third sacral segment. So जैसे कि आपने देखा था, this part is almost circular. तीनों anterior, posterior, oblique और AP diameter almost equal हैं, almost 12 centimeter के करीब हैं. कोई भी एक dimension ऐसी नहीं है जो बहुत ज़्यादा tight हो for the fetal head to pass. So the plane of greatest pelvic dimensions is the mid pelvic cavity. It might not have or let's say contain a greater diameter. ठीक है, greatest diameter हो सकता है कि आपको आउटलेट पे या इनलेट पे मिल जाए डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द पेशेंट, बट यस ओवरऑल सबसे ज्यादा वाइड एंड ओपन प्लेन तो यही है. एंड लाइक दिस द प्लेन ऑफ लीस्ट डायमेंशंस. तो मिड पेल्विक लेवल पे जैसे आपने अभी देखा कि प्लेन ऑफ ग्रेटेस्ट डायमेंशन इज अराउंड S2 S3 लेवल, उसी से हल्का सा नीचे मिड पेल्विक लेवल में ही the transverse diameter between the apices of the ischial spines, this is the tightest diameter for the fetal head to pass. ठीक है, so ischial spine और ischial tuberosity में confuse नहीं होना है. ischial spines के level पर plane of the least dimensions है, which is as small as around 9.5 to even 8 centimeters in adult females. It is just wide enough to allow the passage of the biparietal diameter in the fetus, and this is the most difficult portion during the childbirth. So, mid cavity is a very interesting place. यहीं पर थोड़ा सा ऊपर आपको सबसे ज्यादा खुला और तीनों चारों डायमेंशंस में ओपन स्पेस भी मिलता है, बट जस्ट नीचे आते ही you encounter two ischial spines which become the tightest region. So, fetal station, it is a very important concept. Ischial spines are palpable during pervaginal examination, and this is the part jahan se you measure how much fetus has descended. So when you do the pervaginal examination, you are able to feel the ischial spine on both the sides, and depending upon the centimeters that the head is above or below that region, fetal station is defined as -1, 2 or 3 or +1, 2 or 3. So this is how you can see that fetal station is determined.